Thanks, Gab. Very excited to be here for my first OSSF New York. Obviously, I've been to London one a few times, but the first time in New York, much quieter than London, I have to say. Much smaller as well, but the Gab keeps telling me it's bigger. No, look, it's an honor to be the FINOS chair for the year. Super exciting time of change for the foundation. As Gab kind of alluded to, the last 6-7 years have been very much about, open source readiness. How do we start getting a lot of our firms up to speed with contribution to open source and really establishing OSPOs? That's done. We're at the next phase of our journey. And, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but very true, right? The days of being secretive about every single thing that we do, particularly as banks, has changed. There is a lot more open source in the world. We're ready for a lot more open source. And a lot of what we do, there's a lot of secret sauce in stuff we build, and then there's a lot of things that can get democratized. And FINOS has done a great job of setting up a foundation that is for financial services and set up in a way that actually helps our ecosystem collaborate and grow. Lots of projects, well, lots of SIGs to start. There's, specifications and standards, very active working groups in all of those, and lots of projects contributed and growing, from financial institutions as well as technology companies to create a great mix of projects. So what do we do? So what? If we think about why it's important and why am I here, why do I spend so much time, helping the community as part of this? It's interesting and I'm passionate about it, but actually it's a real competitive advantage, I feel, for our industry. FINOS can go after much bigger challenges. I think now is the time to do it. We're ready. And at RBC, it fits really well with the values of what we do. Collaboration is a core part of how we operate at RBC. It's kind of built into the fabric of what we do. And the foundation is set up in a way where we can actually leverage open source software as a competitive advantage in our industry, in an ecosystem that's targeted for us and optimized for financial services. There's an example of the projects that we actively contribute to. Many of my colleagues are here today who have been working on this. In the CCC for AI initiative, Maxime is an active maintainer on the project committing code. FDC3, I'm showing my age, but I was involved at the very beginning of when we started the standards, or version 1.0 of the standards, before FINOS even existed, which was quite some time ago. And then Git Proxy, it's a project contributed to FINOS, and at RBC, we are now one of the biggest contributors back to the code base, and that's really helped us get ready for how we contribute back to open source projects. So the transition, what do we do? From readiness to commercial ROI. So the great thing about how we set up FINOS is we need to take advantage of all of the projects, the standards, and the SIGs that we have as part of the foundation now. The new mission, and we launched it in June, but still new and exciting. The goal is to enhance profitability for the members, all of you, part of the community, improve resilience of the ecosystem in our industry, and accelerate innovation. A large part of what we all who run technology groups, as well as people hands-on keyboards as developers, this is where the interesting stuff happens. We want to create new things. So the new FINOS mission, it's ambitious, but very achievable. By 2030, we want FINOS technologies and the standards to be embedded in the core workflows, platforms, and policies of the global financial system, becoming an essential part of how the industry operates and evolves. I'll let it sit. It's a bit of a mouthful, but actually quite powerful. Now, it's going to be hard, right? But everyone in this room is part of the solution to get us there. What can you do today? It starts now. right? We need to learn about all of the projects that are out there. Pick the ones that are important to your firm. The only way to make things sustainable, whether it's a standard or a project, is to actually contribute back in different ways to the projects that matter most for your organizations. And as companies with financial goals and benefits, that's quite powerful because we actually get to stand behind projects that really matter to us, make them sustainable, and actually that's how we get the benefits back for the fruits of the labor that we have, whether it's contributing to a standard, code, part of the working groups. We get to actually make something good and sustainable that our organizations depend on. And many of us have got budgets, right? So actually we can contribute back not just time and energy, but funds as well. So take the time. There's a lot of, as Gab mentioned, the second floor, there's going to be a lot of contributors who can show you what's going on the projects. Get involved, find out more, and enjoy the day.